A guy who played in the NBA, not for the Delaware 87ers. Jeff Judkins joining us on set in Studio B. Head coach of the BYU women's basketball team, and a team that is absolutely rolling right now. Have won 5 straight. But, Coach, we want to start with today's Twitter question. We had some fun this morning in our pre-production meeting of just kind of playing the hypothetical game, or what's more likely. So we ask you this. What's more likely to happen in 2016? BYU men's basketball wins a West Coast Conference championship in any capacity, or the football team finishes the season ranked in the top 25?
The football team?
Yeah.
And then the basketball,
wins regular or tournament.
Either one.
I would say basketball has the highest, in my opinion. I think they have a chance. They have a chance right now. So, I mean, they've only lost 2 games. They're going to have a big advantage at the end of the season because their games are more home and ours are now on the road. I think that'll help them. And I think the way they've handled Gonzaga, I think they feel pretty comfortable if they match up well with them, and that'll probably be who they'll play in the championship. I mean, it'd probably be a great day for West Coast Conferences. Gonzaga men, BYU men, Gonzaga women, BYU women. That'd be the best crowds, probably the most excitement.
St. Mary's isn't a fan of that idea, though.
They're not, and they're right there, too, because they both have 2 very, very good teams themselves. And, I know Paul Thomas, and he's got a really, really good team right now. And Randy Bennett, I'm good friends with him. I've known him for a long, long time. And, yeah, they're gonna have something to say with it. Same with San Diego in the women's. And I'll tell you, Pepperdine scares me on the men's side. You know, it's going to be a great test for BYU men this weekend against them because Pepperdine seems to kind of turn it on right now. They did it last year this time.
Yep, they beat St. Mary's as well in Malibu, so that was a nice one. You proved that you can do this being get hot in Vegas. Last year, you're a 5 seed. You win those 3 games. You win the conference tournament. BYU hasn't, for 15 years in the men's side, won a conference tournament. What is it about getting hot in Vegas that maybe you can control to a degree?
Well, I think you have to have some luck. And if people don't remember.
In Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas. You have to win your first game, and sometimes that game is the hardest one. It happened to us last year. We played St. Mary's. It was a hard matchup. They beat us twice, and both games were right down the wire, and this game came down the wire. And luckily I had a really good player that made a great play and got us over the hump. And then you get momentum. And then you start thinking that hey, we can win this thing. We can match up with these guys. And the next thing, you know it. And then San Diego, we kind of lucked out. San Diego lost to San Francisco last year, and San Francisco was a team we matched up very well with. So
in the title game, and you had to go through Gonzaga in the semis.
Yeah, correct.
That was the toughest game.
It was. That was a tough game.
It seemed like, right?
It was really tough. Yeah. But, I think any team can get on a roll, and that's why I think the conference champ, one of our biggest goals is to win a conference championship. It's the 2 months. It's the grind and whatever. And a tournament, you can get hot at the right time, and that happened for us.
That great player you were referencing that hit the game winner against St. Mary's, Lexi Rydalch, the College Madness West Coast Conference Women's Basketball Player of the Week. It seems like she's getting an award every week, but I want to talk about the other player that has emerged this season, Kalani Purcell. All she did in Saturday's game was score 14 points, grab 11 rebounds, have 8 assists, and 6 steals. What do you say to a player like, hey, I need you to do a little bit more? What do you say to Kalani after an amazing performance like that?
I think you keep pushing her. I think Kalani wants to be pushed, and she wants to be the best player she possibly can be. And I think you as a coach, you push her and make her reach her heights. And she wants to play the next level. That's one of her dreams and goals. And I think she's by far the most versatile player, for sure, in our league, and probably at BYU history. She can do so many things, and I think that's what makes it, for me, it's awesome because I can put her in a lot of different positions where she can help our team.
What has she done to grow as a player this season, and in particular maybe be more aggressive offensively? You've called for that. We joked with her, you're averaging 9 shots a game. Why don't you get up to 13 or 14 this week? And you get a couple nice wins last week.
Well, I think she's, how do I say this the right way? She's a team player first. She's always not been a big scorer. Lexi's got the mentality of a scoring mind. That's what she's thinking. Kalani's more of getting my teammates involved. And everybody's like, LeBron James a little bit that way. You're kind of comparing, LeBron James as Kalani, who does everything well. And then you go with Lexi Eaton and you kind of look at her and say she's Kobe Bryant. Everybody does a different
A few
role.
years ago, Kobe?
Yeah, a few years.
Not this year.
The thing that's sad, people don't realize how good he was.
Yes.
He probably should have retired 2 years ago. But, everybody got mad at Barry Sanders retiring when he was at his prime. So there's a happy medium. But I think both those players, that's kind of what they remind me of a little bit. And Kalani's done more trying to score for us in conference than she has to. She has to do that for us.
You faced some interesting challenges as a head coach, and one of them you faced last week, and that is coming off of a huge, emotional, important win against Gonzaga, scrapped it out, found a way to win, but you expel so much energy and stress and energy in that, and then you got to come back on Saturday and play again, and it's not a great team. I mean, Portland came in with a record of 2-15, but you've got to get your team to stay motivated in that situation so there's not a letdown. What do you do in that situation to avoid the letdown, which the men couldn't escape on the road?
Well, it's really hard. First of all, Portland got beat by 30 to San Diego, so that didn't help. If it had been a close game, it would have been probably better. And it was. It's hard. You just got to hope you have veteran players that understand it. That's sometimes where a good bench can come in and your starters aren't ready to go, and you come in with your bench and they come in and play well. And I thought we did that. I thought Fuller came in and gave us a good lift. Amanda's been really solid, just doing her role, what she needs to do. And Cassie came in and hit it that three in the corner, and really kind of got us going. And I think those things helped us. Portland played really well. I don't know if they'd have played like that. Probably some other games they probably would have won. But they hit a lot of good shots, and we kind of, I don't know if we just coasted, but we kind of jumped on them. Then we kind of played sloppy basketball. We didn't really play sharp. And I thought we could come out in the third quarter and just bury them and then do that, but we didn't. We let them get back in the game, and we have to do a better job with that. And I was pretty mad after the game with that. I was happy we won, but I wanted my team to know, hey, we're better than this, and we got to learn from that.
On the men's side, BYU entered the West Coast Conference 4.5 years ago, and I think BYU thought that they would really compete for conference championships and win a couple, at this point. I think it's been harder than we thought. What did you anticipate when the switch to the West Coast Conference happened for the men's team?
Well, for the men's team, I really felt, like you said, I thought they would compete and be up there, which they have been in Gonzaga and them. Gonzaga is... They have a lot of pull in this league. I don't know how other way to say it, but I think scheduling and a lot of things go their way, and it's BYU's. I think they're gonna. I think the biggest thing is what they've done, and that is they've won in Gonzaga now 2 years in a row, which I think gives them a lot of confidence. And then I think secondly, their big the game at the end of the year is going to be a big game. It could be for championship. Gonzaga is not as they're not as good as they've been in the past. They're not as deep, they're not as, and I think they might lose another game on there. And if BYU has in favor at the end of the conference, they have a lot of home games, which they have not lost a home this year. Is that correct?
Correct. 8-0.
Yeah, I think they got a big advantage. And then going into the tournament, as I mentioned, and hopefully match up with the people. The team that scares me on the men's side, and I watched that game, is St. Mary's.
Yep.
St. Mary's is a very, very good team, and I could see them losing at Pepperdine because the quickness and athleticism, but they execute, and I think that's going to be those. To me, it's those three. It's where it's going to come down to, and I think it's the same in the women's. It's going to come down to the three of us. Probably San Diego. San Diego is having 7 straight home games out of the next 9. And where we have 6, we get to play them at home.
But you get them at home. That's the key.
So, yeah.
And the men go 7 of 10 at home. That means you go, 3 of 10 at home because you're opposite, right?
Yes.
The back 10?
Yes.
So you mentioned Gonzaga has a lot of pull. Can you earn that? Like, do they deserve that, or is that unfair to a degree?
I've been in this league for...
5th year now, right?
Yeah. They don't play 4 games on the road.
In a row?
In a row, like we do. They didn't do it last year. They didn't the year before.
You're talking women's.
Yeah, you probably remember you probably remember when we played right after Christmas and you played 4 games in 7 days. Well, they never did 4 games in 7 days. They did 3 for a couple of years. And you're willing to take your hit, but you got to rotate that around. And I know they're doing a lot for different reasons, television and things like that. But it comes down to it, one little break here and there. Like I personally think we should be on the road this week, and the men should be at home. You know, we're doing it back and forth. Why don't we just switch it? But you just do what you're told, and you get the schedule, and you just do the best you can.
I just had a flashback. All of a sudden, I realized, wait, it's been 5 years the BYU's been in the West Coast Cup. 5 years?
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's gone by quickly.
It's time for the
me, at
men
least.
to win a West Coast Conference championship.
Yep.
And according to Coach Judkins, could happen this year because of the way the league is playing out right now.
Yeah, I think where they're sitting, and that's a big goal for us. We haven't won a conference championship. We won 2 tournament championships, but we haven't won. That's what our goal is too, as a team.
Coach, always a pleasure, my friend.
Thanks for having me on, you guys. I appreciate it.